Well, welcome everyone. I'm very glad that you were able to join us for our January Aroma Share. I just love being able to come to you all on Zoom and that we're able to get together this way. I know that some of you have been to my Aroma Share in person, and I can't wait for the day that we're able to actually do that again. But in the meantime, it's awesome to be able to get together this way. And the advantage of it is that I do find that there are some people that are just not able to make it. There are some people that are just not able to make it because of work schedules or maybe because they don't live nearby, that are able to join me since we've been doing it on Zoom. So it has its pluses and minuses, but I'm super glad that you're all here. We have a lot of essential oils to talk about tonight. I know when I invited you, I originally told you that there would be 3, but they have added our Aroma Share Club oils of the month for the year as of yesterday. So I actually have a couple bonus essential oils to talk about. So there's going to be a lot of different oils that are all super great for the immune system. So what I generally like to do is I like to start by having everybody just kind of introduce themselves. And if it's your first time joining us, you can certainly say that. I just like to know if you use essential oils or you're new to essential oils. And if you've been using essential oils, if you can just share with us maybe what essential oil you've really been enjoying recently. I find that everybody kind of benefits from hearing what somebody else has been enjoying. So I'll take a volunteer. Whoever wants to go first, just introduce yourself. And
I'll go first.
Okay, awesome.
I'm Liz Clancy. I'm a friend of Jill's from high school. I've been using oils for a couple years now, and I recently organized all my oils, and I saved all those little cards that come in the with the oils, and I counted over 170 bottles of oils that I have bought from Jill over this time, which was quite a shock. Quite a big shock. Because I kept stuffing all those little cards in a box, and I thought, oh well, I'll give them to people, if I'm giving them a sample or something, I'll have extra of those cards. And the other night I had my daughter lay them all out and go through and make sure I just had one of each, but then I counted them all and had heart failure when I realized how many oils I have bought over the years.
Oh,
so
now just to clarify, she doesn't have 170 bottles because there's many that she orders over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
Her favorites. So
yes.
what a great idea though, to actually count all the cards, right?
Yeah, and I would have done that. I think the biggest piles were lavender, orange, birch, peppermint. But I was quite the eye opener when I counted all those cards.
Now I remember lemongrass used to be one of your favorites.
Lemongrass, that's right. Yes, I did have a fixation on lemongrass for quite a few years. But the oil I'm using now the most has been lavender, because I just had carpal tunnel surgery on my left arm on January. This is my first surgery. That's the scar right there. That on January 3rd. And now this is my second surgery on my other hand.
Wow.
I've been putting lavender on this incision because there was like a section that wasn't quite, there were stitches, but it didn't quite close up. And it hurt, and it was, it just was, you're not supposed to get it wet. And I was worried about germs and infection. And so I looked in my book, and I was surprised that lavender was one of the things that they recommended for wounds, because I didn't realize all the different properties, antiseptic and all these other properties. So within the first night of using it, the next morning when I woke up, it had closed over. So I've been putting it on every day. And now I'll have to do the same thing probably with the other hand once I get this monster off. But that's what I've been using the most of. lately.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, do
Lavender.
you remember my story about using that on the cut that I had when I
Oh, yes,
when I
yes.
found the knife? Yeah.
Right. I didn't remember that, but I do now that you mentioned it. But I used my little Bible here and I found it in there. And first I was using tea tree, and then I decided to look in the book, and then I switched over to lavender.
Yes. Yes. What Liz is referring to is she has a little bit different version than I do, but this is our essential oil Bible. It was written by two of the women that run our essential oil division, and most people that use a lot of our essential oils consider this to be the Bible, and it has a lot of really helpful, useful information in it. Now, it is out of print right now, so you can't order it. But I will show you one. I share my screen later that it's available on Kindle. So you can download it that way. And then I also have a free version. It's not quite the same thing, but if you ask me if I haven't sent it to you already, I certainly can send you the free version. So just let me know and I'll do that. So thank you, Liz, for your share. Appreciate you joining us, and I wish you speedy healing.
Thank you.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody's gonna want to follow that though, man. That was a great share.
That's hard to follow.
I'll go. I'll go. Oh, am I on? Okay, sorry. I didn't join in with the video because I'm in the middle of cooking and cleaning and folding clothes.
Good for you, Reba.
But anyway, well, my name's Rebecca, but my nickname's Reba. So I love essential oils. I think I started using them maybe about 4 years ago. I had a friend at church that introduced me to oils, and I am a fan. I'm sold on them. I have a couple favorites. I love frankincense because you can use that for really anything. I like lavender too. It is calming and relaxing, but I remember I burnt my finger and I started to put ice on it, and I had just read the day before about lavender is good for burns, and I put this on the burn and I wasn't paying attention, so it was probably a lot sooner, but about an hour later I realized I had no pain and there was no evidence of the burn left. So I love that. And
That's a great share. I mean, and it really works like that, right? You know, we were
Yeah.
told to put butter on it and of course
oh
ice
wow.
and put it under water, but no one ever told me, you know,
Yeah.
growing up to put lavender on it, but it really works.
Yeah, well, I was at a picnic and I had got to burn the day before, and my friend who uses oils, she had like a spray bottle with lavender and I think some other things in it, and she said, "Here, spray this on your sunburn." So great. I also love lemon. I put that in my water because it's detoxifying, and I love peppermint for all kinds of things. I have mild gastroparesis, which means that my stomach doesn't empty as quickly and as well as a normal digestive system.
Right.
And sometimes my stomach will hurt, even though I do eat very healthy and more whole foods, but I still have issues sometimes. And I'll rub it on my stomach and it works wonders. I also like it for headaches. And like I said, well, I didn't say, but I put a drop of peppermint in my water every now and then.
Yeah, peppermint's what you're rubbing on your stomach, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It works wonders.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Digestion. Thank you. Who's next?
Well, I'll keep it simple. I'll just talk about one. But right now, I've been using First Defense, just to kind of stimulate my immune system. I'm in the public a lot, so just to keep my immune system to be strengthened. And I love so many oils, but we've all been talking about some that I love. And what I love about essential oils is you just don't have to use much of it. It's, the bottles just last for so long, and they have so many purposes and uses. So that's really important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And our Youngevity essential oils are 100% therapeutic grade essential oils. They're extremely potent and powerful essential oils, and less definitely more. And if you are accustomed to using another brand, we tell you to start small and start with just a drop or two, because you'll probably find that that is enough. Because I know I used a different brand first, and where I would use 5-6 drops of essential oil, I only need 1 or 2 of a Youngevity essential oil. So less is more, but they're, fantastic. Nancy, did you try to give us a testimony? Is that what I was hearing?
No, not yet. I was
Oh,
waiting.
I heard somebody
I
trying to talk.
I have been using the Y23 a lot, obviously because of cold and flu, and I just feel like I sleep better with that. So I love the way it smells, and I feel like, I don't know, it just gets all over my sheets, and I just feel like I sleep a lot better with that. So that's the one I've been using a lot lately.
It does have some properties in it that could help you sleep for sure.
Yeah.
And some of you ladies are giving me great testimonies for the oils we're going to talk about. So I appreciate that.
Oh, I actually have one more,
Oh.
if I can.
Yes.
So I had this sore in my mouth, and so I went to the dentist today, and here it's an infection. And it feels good to know that I've been putting the right thing on it. Been putting tea tree on it, and I feel like that definitely has helped. So I was glad I followed through with the tea tree.
You just put it right on where the.
Yeah, I put it right on it was actually like a lump. It's a infection actually. And so I feel like it helped it not to get any worse. I mean, it didn't take it away, but it certainly didn't get any worse either. So
Yeah. Good.
definitely was a good one to choose for that.
Good. Awesome. Anybody else want to?
Yeah, I'm Lois. And I can't say enough about the thymus. My husband and I both came down with COVID back in August. And I really feel that's what got us through with the coughing and being able to sleep at night. My husband was especially bad. He was literally curled up in a ball and coughing so hard that felt like the house was shaking. And I would go in and, well, not only it helped him sleep through the night, because I would put it on at night, but whenever he coughed during the day, and it wouldn't stop, I would go in and put that on.
Awesome.
And that was
That's
really
neat.
the only thing that helped. Cough syrup over the counter prescription, none of that helped. But the thymus, I call it a lifesaver. So it works so
Let's talk
well.
about the Thymol that we're going to talk about today.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
And then before I would go to bed, I would always do the breath of life as well. And that helped a lot.
Awesome.
So both of those together worked wonders. And then our doctor put us, these aren't essential oils, but our doctor has a vitamin protocol for COVID patients. So through Youngevity, I do the vitamin D3 and I do the zinc. And then I do the vitamin drink and the immune drink every day. Oh, and I forgot to say I'm a friend of Karen's. So she's the one that she was brave enough to come and see us during all this. And we talked through the window and talked through the door, and she left these nice little goodie bags outside our door and helped us get back on the track to health again.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I was thrilled to do it and just happy to see how they just really improved.
Yeah. So nice to see you, Lois. I've heard
Oh,
a
thank
lot
you.
about you.
Well, I'm very grateful.
Yeah. So I actually accidentally sold my Thymol to Lois. I was not aware when I gave it to her for her problem that she was having, not gave it to her, but when gave it to Karen to sell to her, that it was that we didn't have it anymore, that it was discontinued. And so I got a text from Karen a couple days after Lois had been using it, and telling me how well it worked for her and asking to buy more, right? You wanted to buy more right away. And that's when I found out that we didn't have it. And I was devastated that I sold my only bottle.
Oh,
But thankfully, there were a lot of other people giving testimonies similar to Lois's. And so they decided to bring back that essential oil
Oh,
on a
great.
daily basis. So we're going to talk about that in detail tonight. But thank you so much, Lois, for your testimony. Anyone else want to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Patty Brennan, and Jill kind of introduced me to essential oils about a year ago. I actually slipped and fell on my driveway on the ice, on some black ice, and I was having horrible pain and muscle spasms that literally, like, I couldn't stand up straight. It was really painful. And Jill recommended or brought me this cocktail of Youngevity's hemp FX cream and lemongrass essential oil and the black spruce. And
Which is what we
that
talked about last month. We
yeah,
talked
that
about
that combination is unreal. And I have since then, I mean, I can't even tell you, it prevented me. The only thing my doctor at that point felt that he could do for me was put me on steroids, which I really, and muscle relaxants, which I really didn't want to do if I didn't have to. And the relief I got from that combination was just unreal. And then after the last aroma share, I picked up the Good Night, and I have been using that every night because I've been having with menopause, I've been having trouble falling asleep and staying asleep, or I wake up a lot and then I have trouble falling back to sleep. And I have been sleeping like a baby since I started using it. It's been a godsend. So
awesome. I'm glad that it's working out for you.
thank you.
I thought it would be a good choice. So
It really was. So thank you.
Well, my name is Deb. I'm a friend of Karen's, and I met Jill, and so I've been using Youngevity. My mind just went blank. The Karen, the stuff I put in my coffee.
Yep, the collagen.
Yes, I use the collagen and I use the enzyme. And my husband and I both had COVID. I was probably a little more sick, and I got through it with hydroxychloroquine and zinc and antibiotics, and we're all on a very strict regimen of quercetin, D, C, and zinc daily. So, and I'm just interested in essential oils because when I got sick and realized, and I've learned through so many people getting sick, doctors really aren't interested in treating you. And I feel like we're kind of on our own. So I'm just interested in knowing all the natural processes out there that can keep my family healthy.
awesome. You're in the right place. That's what we're going to
Amen.
talk about tonight.
Amen. Glad to have you. Amen.
Angela?
Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm in a car in between running my son places, but I wanted to join because I'm very new to essential oils, but I'm very interested in them. So I've bought a few. I bought like the Christmas pack and I'm diffusing them, but I'm kind of like the woman who just spoke. I'm really interested in learning more of those healing properties and what they can do for me and for my health, for my family.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice.
Well, thank you. Appreciate everybody's willingness to share. I am going to share my screen now, and I have a PowerPoint here that will get started. Oh, let me see. I wanted to share, if I can find it.
Jill, do you have a favorite oil that you've been using?
Oh, wow. Who just asked me? Who put me on that spot?
Not me.
That could be all night. She
Yeah.
knows all of them and uses them and helps me so much. Yeah, yeah.
So I use Good Night absolutely every single night. You know, that's what I do. The last thing I do before I go to bed at night is I put a drop of Good Night on the bottom of each toe. And what I do is I put a drop-ish on one toe, and then I just rub my feet together so that I don't actually have to put it in my hands and then get up and have to worry about washing my hands. So I just drop it on my toe and rub my 2 feet together. So that's what I recommend. And then I have also really been using the Thymol that we're going to talk about because I alternate between that and Y23. So it just depends on what I feel like I need that day, but I generally am choosing one of those two. And the tea tree that we're going to talk about also is one that I've used a lot in the last month as well. So Liz, I was trying to show your essential oil display, but I haven't found it yet. Maybe at the end. So we'll go on and I'll come back to that if I can find it. Okay. Here we go. Okay, can you guys see my screen? No?
Well, it's still going around in circles.
Yep, it's trying. It's thinking.
There it
we
is.
go.
Okay, scaring me. All righty. So as I mentioned, that I told everybody that we're going to talk about 3 essential oils, and we're going to talk about these 3 in greater detail. We're going to talk about the Thymol, the Y23, and the tea tree essential oils. And so those are the 3 that I'm going to talk about in greater detail. And those are the ones that I just mentioned that I've been using. And a lot of times I try to use the oils that I'm talking about so that I can learn how they work and be able to give a testimony. But in this case, the reason I'm talking about them is because they're the oils I use. And they're the oils that I think everybody else needs to be using this time of year and for such a time as now. They are, in fact, my 3 favorites, that and the Good Night right now.
Oops.
Here is what I mentioned. This is the book called the Foundational Aromatherapy book that is written with all the different Youngevity essential oils in it. And a lot of us consider it the Bible. And here it is available for sale on Kindle. You can download it on Kindle and have your own copy of it. And I definitely recommend that. Or again, you can ask me for the free version. And our essential oils are divided into singles and into blends. And so there's sections in here for singles and sections for blends. And singles are like a single essential oil. And it's something you're going to recognize even if you had used another company's oils like lemon, lavender, they're all single essential oils. But every essential oil company has their own blends that they're proprietary to their own company. And that's the other section in the book is blends. So I just had to start.
Jill?
Yeah.
Oh, Jill, can I ask you, is that book going to be, will that book go to print at some time in the future, or is it not going to be printed anymore at all?
That's a good question. I would say right now it's not. I do hope it's going to be again, but for right now it is not. So
okay. And I just wanted to say my video's gone, but I'm listening because I have to look real close at the screen. I'm on my phone and I don't want you guys to be able to like look up my nostrils, you know. It wouldn't be pretty.
No worries. All right.
It's all good.
Thank you. So of course I have to start with the joke, a day without essential oils is like, oh, just kidding. I have no idea. I can't remember the last time I went a day without essential oils. Because we truly, that's what we use in our family. We use all natural, and we've actually really done everything over the counter with all natural products, from nutritional products to essential oils. I have an oil for that. Literally, I had to go out and buy Advil just in case we had a fever we couldn't break with essential oils, and that's it. That's the only thing I own that is not something that is all natural, and that's not open. I want to get moving here. I do plan on offering an essential oil basic class in the near future. Am I frozen? Is it?
No.
Okay, you guys are all frozen for me. As long as you can hear me, that's fine. I do plan on offering an essential oil basic class in the near future where I can talk about some of these other screens in greater detail. Yeah, I'm frozen. Okay, come on now.
We can hear you and I can hear you and see you.
I know, but I can't move my screen.
Oh,
I can't move my screen, so I wonder what's going on. Bummer. I'm gonna have to stop the share, I think. Pick up your essential oil. I think I'm frozen. Thank goodness.
yeah.
Pick up your essential oils at a are you guys looking at the screen?
We're looking at you.
Okay, well, at least we're not frozen. That's good. Let me get it back. Sorry for the adventure. At least we are not frozen. Hold and shift to select multiple windows. Nope, I don't want to select multiple windows. Just that.
Yeah, they're ethically farmed and they're free of chemicals.
Yes, and thanks, Karen. And that's a big deal because not all essential oils are created equal. And if you just go down to your local drugstore or to Walmart or to Target,
Oh my word, no.
and you pick up an essential oil, it's not a high quality essential oil. It's likely 8% and 20% essential oil, not 100% therapeutic essential oils. So that's why I said less is more. There's many different ways to use essential oil. And again, I'm going to do an essential oil basics class that we can talk about that in greater detail for anybody who's interested. In addition to the 3 oils that we're going to talk about here, I just want to let everybody know, I know some people that are with me regularly were a little confused and they thought that those 3 oils were part of our Aroma Share Club for one price. They are not. The oils that I'm talking about are sold individually, the Y23, the Thyme linalool, and the tea tree. But Youngevity does have every month a group of essential oils that are packaged together for a deal that are on special, that for $54.95 you get those 2 or 3 essential oils. Now, this was not available when I set up my Aroma Share and invited all you folks. I just got it yesterday. And coincidentally, Y23, which is one of the oils we're talking about, does happen to be in the Aroma Share oil of the month. But the other 2 are First Defense and To Be Well. And I don't want to complicate it and talk in great detail about too many oils that it's too much for you. But I wanted you to know that you can get all 3 of these if you choose to for $54.95. And I will talk a little bit more about First Defense and To Be Well at the end, but we're going to talk about the Y23 in depth. And any of them can be bought separately, or these 3 can be bought together for $54.95. And if you buy them together, it saves you like $33 from what they would be if you bought them all individually. So the first oil that we're going to talk about is tea tree. And tea tree is an essential oil that absolutely everybody needs to have. And if you don't have it, you should buy it tonight or as soon as you're able to do that. Because it is considered to be medicine chest in a bottle. And it's a very, very powerful immune stimulant that's effective for fighting infections that are bacterial, viral, and fungal. And whenever somebody texts me or calls me and asks me for advice, it almost always involves tea tree. And I hate when somebody tells me they don't have it because it does so many different things. And it almost always is one that I'm telling them that they need to pull out and they need to try. My favorite thing for using tea tree for, well, really, it's hard to say what my favorite is, but the very first sign that you're feeling anything, you know how it seems to most of the time be at night, where you just start to feel a little bit, I don't know what's going on, I'm getting something. And that's the best time to use tea tree. Before it gets a hold of you, you want to be proactive and choose one of the ways that we're going to talk about to use tea tree. It is safe for all ages. That's another thing that I really like about it. So it's safe for children, for seniors, and adults alike. And one of my favorite ways to use tea tree is I do something called a tea tree lick, which is just taking the palm of my hand and dropping a essential oil drop into the palm of my hand, and then taking another finger and just licking it off. Okay. And you know, just taking a lick of the tea tree is a really quick way to get it into your system and get it where it needs to go. And so if you're feeling like you just might be getting something, that's, you know, a great time to do that. I also keep these teeny little essential oil bottles. They're sample bottles. And I like to keep my tea tree in this. And that way I always have it with me in my purse. So if I'm out and about and I need it for whatever reason, whether it's because I feel like something's coming on, or I, you know, have get a cut or something that I want to use it to disinfect it with, I always have it. But I keep one in my nightstand next to my bed. And so what I'll do is if I do have a sore throat, or I do feel like something's gonna come on, or cough or whatever, then I just take it and I open it up and I drop it right on my tongue, because this doesn't get you a whole drop. It gets you a micro drop, which is about the right amount. So when you use one of these little bottles, what you usually have to do is you have to turn it upside down and you have to tap on it, tap, tap, tap to get it to come out. You can do the same thing and just open your mouth and tap, tap, tap. And you will not get, don't do that with a regular bottle. You'll get 5, 6 drops in your mouth. That's why I said put it on your hand. But if you have something like this next to your bed or in your purse, you really only just get a teeny little bit, which is less than a drop that way. So another way that you can use tea tree is you can make tea, or you can make an all natural cough syrup, and you kind of do it the same way. Here they're telling you to take a drop of essential oil and put it in half a teaspoon of honey or sweetener, and then stir it into your water. What I like to do is I like to take like a tablespoon, like the bigger spoon, like your soup spoon, and put a teaspoon of honey in it so that it's not going to fall out over the edge, and then drop your drop of tea tree in that. And then if you want to take it as an all natural cough syrup, you're just going to put it directly from there, you know, take it right from the spoon. If you have lemon essential oil, you can add a drop of lemon to it also, because lemon is also very antibacterial and antiviral. And it kind of makes the tea tree taste better, although tea tree tastes fine as well. But if you want to make a tea, then you just take that same tablespoon that has a teaspoon of oil on it, or a teaspoon of honey with the drop of oil, and put it in an empty teacup, and then pour your warm or hot water over it, and then stir. And the honey's kind of important because oil and water doesn't mix, right? And so you don't really want it to float to the top, and the honey is a carrier. So then it's able to, you still have to stir it, but it helps it not just float on the top, and helps it get where it's beneficial. And if you can't do honey, or you don't want to do honey for the, you know, because it's too sweet, then you can use a tea bag and do the same thing and put it directly into a tea bag. But that is one of the things that my family does if we're not feeling well, or even if we're around people who are sick. Then we'll make tea, or we'll do cough syrup. And my son does this too. And my son has done it since he's, I don't know, 7 or 8, something like that. You know, he's learned that is going to help him, and he's willing to do it. And it's usually not just a one-time thing. If you feel like something's coming on, you want to do it the first moment that you know something's coming on, but then you want to repeat it. Okay, so if it's at night, then you're going to repeat it a couple of times the next day, even if you feel fine, because sometimes people don't repeat it, and then it kind of sneaks back up and gets a hold of them. So it's best to do it, and then to keep, you know, repeating it. So that's one of my favorite ways to use tea tree, is to do the tea tree lick, or make an all natural cough syrup, or use it in tea. Of course, another way to use it is you can soak in the tub. And if you don't feel well, or you're fighting some kind of fungal issues, then or any kind of skin issues, because tea tree is very good for any kind of skin issues. It's helpful for psoriasis and it's helpful for eczema. And so it's something that you can do. You can just soak in the tub, or you can make a foot bath if you don't have a tub, or you don't want to do that. You can do it the same way with a foot bath. Now we have these things called dead sea salts. It's very similar in consistency to Epsom salts. So you can use Epsom salts if that's what you have, or that's what you can get locally. There is a big difference between dead sea salts and Epsom salts. The Epsom salts is just, salt. It's just the potassium and magnesium. And dead sea salt has, I think it's 77 different minerals in it. So it is, superior. But what you do is you just take a, let's see if it has a picture here. I think it does. Yep. You just take a handful of either one of them, of Epsom salts or dead sea salt. And then what you want to do is drop, depending on which essential oil you're using and whether you're doing a foot bath or you're doing a tub, you would just want to drop the essential oil right into the dead sea salt or the Epsom salt. And I would say start with 5 drops. That's usually about the right amount. Sometimes it's not enough and you can add more. And then if you're taking a bath, you just put it under the faucet. And, oh, why is somebody trying to get in? Were you watching?
Oh, I've been checking and checking. I just checked like a couple seconds ago. I don't show anybody.
Is healthy cap not capitalized?
I don't think you have to capitalize it, Joe.
No, that's what I'm saying, because she said she couldn't get in. Watch for her if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, I've been the whole time.
Okay. So again, for the same reason that oil and water don't mix, that's why you want to definitely put the oil not directly in the tub or in the foot bath, but you want to actually put it in the Epsom salt or in the dead sea salt. But it is very helpful for any kind of skin irritations that you have, any kind of dry skin or itching, irritation, eczema, any kind of skin problems, as well as helping you with those colds, coughs, and the flu, any kind of respiratory issues. If you just take a soak in tea tree, either with the foot bath or actually in the tub. And it's also very relaxing for your muscles and for your stress level. And of course, you can use different essential oils as well for that purpose. Now, sorry for the graphic picture, but tea tree is also really, really beneficial and helpful for skin tags. So if you get any kind of skin tags like this, it's not a magic pill. It doesn't work the first time that you put it on. You have to do it repetitively over and over. But it does eventually help that skin tag just to kind of disappear, shrink, or fall off. And with repetitive use, it goes away. And I will tell you that I can testify to that because I've seen it work. It definitely works that way for me. And I have other customers that order it over and over for exactly the same reason. Colloidal silver is also helpful and beneficial for the same thing. And so sometimes people will alternate and they'll use a little bit of colloidal silver and then another time use a little bit of tea tree, but you just have to stay at it. But it is very beneficial for it as well. So I'm going to tell you a couple other things about tea tree. It is the most common essential oil in the world next to lavender, and it is the most versatile. It's great for the immune system. It helps you to build your immune system and to fight infection. It's fabulous for helping you fight fungal infections or any kind of yeast at all that is on your skin. And it's been known to be helpful for athlete's foot or for jock itch or even for women's yeast infections. And the best way for athlete's foot would be to put your foot in the foot bath. Best way if you're going to try to use it for a yeast infection would be to sit your bum in it, right? Take a sitz bath or to actually get in the tub with it for that. It can be very helpful for thrush with children, not for babies, but for children that have the problem. And another way that you can use tea tree is you can make a mister bottle. Here she goes.
Mhm.
I got her.
Got her.
Yeah. And oh, I didn't bring any mister bottle out, but if you, this is my hemp FX, but typically you can get a bottle, a spray bottle that's empty, and you can make a mister bottle with it. And tea tree is a great one to have around. Now, what I like to do with my spray bottles and why I don't have it here is because it's in the fridge. I like to keep it in the fridge. And I like to use our plant dried minerals, which is the base of our nutrition. And if you're going to use a lot of essential oils, plant dried minerals is something that are getting, so that you can make mister bottles and use it for different things with your essential oils. But you can also use distilled water or filtered water. And what you do is you just fill it about halfway and then add your essential oils and then shake it up and then fill it up to the shoulder and then shake it up again. And somebody mentioned that they used it for sunburn spray. That's what I would put the plant dried minerals in it and the lavender for sunburn spray. But tea tree is also very, very good to have in a mister bottle. And so a lot of times I have lavender and tea tree in mine together because it's very multi-purpose, that it helps to kill the bacteria, the viruses, and the fungi. And then the lavender is also very healing for it as well. So I definitely recommend that is a way that you can use it. And if you have athlete's foot, again, that's another practical way to use the athlete's foot is to make the mist bottle. And then whoever has the problem can spray their feet. They can also spray their shoes. And it's very helpful that way. You can even spray, the bathroom area because it can be contagious. It can help to disinfect the area. So if I was going to make a 2-ounce mister bottle, if I was going to use a 2-ounce bottle, I would be putting about 14 drops of tea tree and 14 drops of lavender in it. And I know that sounds like a lot, but for a 2-ounce bottle, that would be the appropriate amount. The other thing that tea tree is very helpful for is acne. And you can use it a couple different ways. You can use that mister bottle and spray it right on your face. And the plant dried minerals that I mentioned is a great way to, that's fine to spray on your skin. It's not sticky or anything like that. It's just another way for you to get minerals into your body. But it is a great way to clean up any kind of complexion that has acne, is to spray that directly on it. It is also a substitute for Clearasil pads, and you can actually buy those pads that are, they have nothing on them, and then find some kind of a jar and add about an ounce of water, and then you want to take and fill it about halfway with the plant dried minerals that I mentioned, and then about halfway with water. And then you would put 3 drops of tea tree and 3 drops of lavender in and pour all of that over the pads. So I'm going to go over that again. Halfway with plant dried minerals if you have it. If not, then the whole thing with water. Halfway with water, 3 drops of tea tree, and then 3 drops of lavender, and then pour that in and shake it over the pads. And then that's just an all natural way for pads to help with acne or anything that you have going on your face that needs to have a little bit extra help. Now you can also add it to your face cream. If you're putting moisturizer on your face, you can just take whatever you're going to put on your face and drop a drop of tea tree in it and then put it on your face. So that is another way that you can use it as well. Many people, and Nancy kind of mentioned this a little bit, is that lots of people like to brush their teeth with it. And you can add a drop to your toothbrush on top of the toothpaste, if that's how you want to use it. Or you can add a drop just to the toothbrush and use that instead of toothpaste. I've done it both ways, and it's great either way. So the first time you ever taste tea tree, you might say, oh, I don't know if I love it. but it's really only the first time because it's not, it doesn't taste like peppermint or birch. It's not sweet. But it's not one that I dislike. I don't mind having it in my mouth, and I can brush my teeth with it. It's fine. And you can also use it to freshen your breath. So if you have a little bottle and you need to have a little bit of fresh breath, you can keep it in your purse and, either lick it off your finger or take the little bottle and just put a drop in your mouth. Lots of people have the little spray bottles that you can carry. They look like, I don't have mine here since I moved, but it looks almost like a lipstick. And then you take the lid off and it has a little spray on it. And you can make an all natural breath freshener with it that way. Some of you have them, don't you? Liz, you probably have them. And Nancy, I think you probably have them. It's also great for a sore throat, and using it in any of the ways that I've already told you with the tea tree lick or the cough syrup or the tea was very helpful for getting rid of a sore throat. But the other thing that you can do if you have a sore throat or a cough is you can actually put it on your throat. Now, what I usually tell people to do is in the situation when you're putting it on your feet, you can use it neat if you choose to, or you can dilute it with a carrier. But when you're putting it on your neck or your chest, it's best to dilute it one way or the other. My favorite way to dilute it is to use our CM cream, which is it's actually a muscle and joint cream. It's filled with anti-inflammatories. It's a pain cream. It's filled with anti-inflammatories and essential fatty acids. It also has a little bit of peppermint essential oil in it automatically. And I like to use that for when I have a sore throat or a cough. And then I'll put a little bit in my hand, add a drop or two of essential oil to it, and then just put it on the area that's bothering me. Or if we have a cough, then I'm going to put it on the chest or on the back of the lungs. But I just think that helps, a helpful way to do it. You can also put it in your body lotion if that's what you have and that's what you want to use, or you can use some kind of a carrier oil. We sell many, many different kinds of carrier oils. This one's Kukuki, which is my favorite to use. And I would do that the same way. Put a little bit in my hand, add some essential oils to it, and then rub it in this area here.
How do I get off?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I need to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Should say leave up at the top.
Press your picture, touch your picture.
Thank you so much for joining us, Lois. I'm sorry, but I am it is recorded, so.
Thank you.
You'll be able to, I hope it's still recorded.
Thank you. Good night.
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 I was just checking to make sure it's still recording since I froze earlier. So those are the many different ways to use tea tree. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Oh, you can also use it to clean your fish aquarium. If you're going to clean your fish aquarium, you use a teaspoon of salt and 2 to 3 drops and mix it together with the tea tree and then sprinkle it into a 10-gallon aquarium. And then watch a while and then clean it up. It can take up to a week for it to clear out that way, but it's very effective.
Jill,
Yes.
so is there a place where we can find all the little different kind of recipes and uses and things like that that you're talking about? That is there a reference that we can, like, if we want to add it to our cream, or we want to make the Clearasil pads, is there a place to go?
Yeah. Well, I can share my PowerPoint with you along with the recording when I'm finished, if you'd like to, and you can go back and get it there.
Okay, so all the recipes you mentioned are on the PowerPoint.
Not all of them, no. But
okay, all right.
Yeah, but
I just wasn't sure if I should be writing all this down or if there was like a reference guide of some,
or some of the things.
How do you know?
Some of the things are in here, but the recipes that I gave you, no, you need to write them down. And
Okay.
that probably is one I can share with you, Deb. I can probably put it up in my healthy living page, which I think you're in, because
Yeah.
I do have that in a written recipe. So I can
Okay.
put it there for you.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Is Lorraine in? Did you get in, Lorraine?
Oh, Lorraine's in.
Okay, good. She's not on my screen, so good. I'm glad you're here. Okay. Anybody have any questions about tea tree? There are so many other things that you could use it for. I mean, it's just, let me see what I might have missed here. It's great for both children and adults at fighting infections. Oh, I know what I didn't mention. It's a powerful for healing skin wounds and infections. So another reason to just carry it with you in your purse is that anytime, you know, you bump your hand, you have an open wound, or you get bit by a bug, tea tree is a great thing to use. It's a great thing. And you can just drop it right on the wound. You can just drop it right on whatever you have going on. It's also really helpful for tick bites. If you get a tick bite and you put a drop of essential oil on the tick, a lot of times the tick will just back right out. And then they tell you that if it does, then you want to put another drop on the wound afterwards as well. So it's definitely something that is safe to put directly on any kind of open wound. It is also a decongestant. It helps to reduce nasal mucus, and it's anti-inflammatory, and it helps to destroy or inhibit the growth of destructive bacteria, and it helps to stimulate the immune system, and it helps to heal wounds. So those are some of my favorite ways to use tea tree. Now what we're going to talk about is the Thyme Thymol. Now we actually sell two kinds of, Angela, we actually sell two kinds of thyme. We have thyme linalool and thyme Thymol. And the interesting thing about them is that the actual thyme plant produces two completely different essential oils. And what it does is it varies based on where it's grown. And so certain places where it's grown, it produces, it is used as to make thyme Thymol. And then other places, because of where they grow it and the properties of it, they use it to make the thyme linalool. And they're very different essential oils. The thyme linalool is more really for skin issues. It's more gentle and it's good for all ages. It's also more expensive. And then the thyme Thymol is a really powerful one for your immune system. So they're really, really different. And I know they don't have it on the card here, but it's technically Thyme CT Thymol and Thyme CT linalool. And that's what the CT stands for, is the fact that it is actually a chemotype and that they make two completely different essential oils from the same plant. So Thyme Thymol is good for the nervous system, the muscular system, the skeletal system, and it blends very well with lots of different essential oils. Some of them are listed here. And then this is a very powerful essential oil. It's definitely 100% pure. It helps to support the immune system. It's warm. In fact, it's kind of a little bit spicy, and it has a bitter component to it that may help promote a healthy appetite and support healthy digestion and healthy liver function. It does have a caution on it not to use while you're pregnant, and you're also not to use it on babies, children, or people that are frail elderly. It can be irritating to the skin, so you should use it in moderation and dilute it, especially until you know how your skin is going to react to it. When I put it on my feet, I don't dilute it. You may choose to dilute it. Some people still even dilute it when they put it on their feet, but I'll put it directly on the bottom of my feet without diluting it. But when I put it somewhere else on my skin, I'm going to make sure that I've diluted it, that I'm not using it full strength, because it is a little bit more of a spicy essential oil. But now you recognize here that it comes from the thyme. the plant, right? The herb that you may grow in your garden. So, it is something that people do use in cooking. And they do use here to help promote a healthy appetite and for digestive purposes.
I would just press the tap to speak button.
It is great for immune support, and it can help, if you're sick, it can help you keep others in your house from not getting sick if you're using it to clean the area, or you're using it to diffuse between taking the person out of the room and then diffusing to help to clean and sanitize the room. If you're using it in a diffuser, we do want you to be cautious. It's not an essential oil that you should diffuse for hours because of the fact that it's a little bit spicier. I would say you could diffuse it for 15 minutes with somebody in the room. Otherwise, if you're going to diffuse for longer, you should do it on an empty room to try to clean up that room and have the germs not be passed along to the next person. Here are two different recipes that I found for diffusing it, that you can mix it with lemon, mix it with lavender. Now you'll notice here, if you're using this to freshen the air, you're going to use less of the thyme and more of the lemon and the lavender. So here we're suggesting 4 lemon, 3 lavender, and 1 of thyme, so that it's not primarily thyme. It's just you're getting the benefit of the antiviral from the thyme. And here's another one again for cold. This one is about equal parts of 3 lemon and 3 thyme. But again, I would not do it for more than 15 minutes at a time till you see how strong it is for you. And but that'll give you the opportunity to get it into your lungs and help with your respiratory system, and also to help to disinfect the room. It is a very strong antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. It's very effective against colds, flus, and other respiratory issues that have lingered on. It's just like tea tree. The best time to use it is when you first feel the symptom, right? Or you can use it daily to help you keep your immune system in the best shape possible, to help support your immune system. So this is definitely one that you could put a drop on the bottom of each big toe morning and night to help you support your immune system, or when you're fighting any kind of cold, flu, or virus. And this is the oil that Lois gave the testimony for at the beginning, that it had really helped her so much with her cough, and her husband's cough, that it was a game changer for her as far as being able to help when nothing else was really helping. And that is what it says here, that it's great for respiratory issues, especially ones that are lingering or that are kind of chronic. And stimulating for the circulatory system is also helpful for pain, right? It's helpful for relieving aches and pains in the muscles and joints. It's a strong germ fighter, and it helps to strengthen the immune system. See here, you can make, this is not one that we would recommend putting in the bathtub because of the fact that it's spicy. It's just too strong for that. But you could make a foot bath. And so if you weren't feeling well, or you were fighting something viral, a foot bath would be a good thing to do. And remember that I mentioned to you that you can take the plant dried, the minerals, or you can take the Epsom salt and add the essential oil to it and put it in a foot bath. And then, you soak your feet until basically it gets cold. So depends on how hot you start the water with, but that's like 10, 15, 20 minutes that you'd be keeping your foot in the foot bath. And it helps to draw out the toxins and the things that you don't want in your body. So that would be a great way, if you were feeling a little under the weather, to use it. It is also one that you could use in the laundry. I do use essential oils in my laundry. I use one called Deep Cleanser, and Deep Cleanser happens to have this oil in it, but you could just use this oil too if you chose to. And what I do is I use liquid detergent, and I just take and shake a drop or two right into the dispenser where I put my liquid essential oil, and everything comes out smelling really fresh and clean. I don't use fabric softener, so I'm counting on the essential oil to help it come out fresh and clean, and to also fight any kind of mold, because a lot of times your washing machines end up with mold in them, and this essential oil helps you to fight mold, and so does the deep cleanser that I mentioned before. They do say that it is believed that it can help to improve your vision simply by putting it on the bottom of your feet, and using it with regular use, not like one time, but with regular use, that it is believed that it can help your vision. And never put it near your eyes, because it's very, very hot and spicy oil. So you would put it on the bottom of your feet. And for anybody who doesn't know this, when you put an essential oil on the bottom of your feet or anywhere on your body, it travels within split seconds all through your bloodstream and all through your body. And it goes to basically wherever you need it. And if you ever want to test it, what you can do is put some essential oils on the bottom of your feet. And when I say that, I mean on the bottom of your big toes, like where the fold is, where the soft skin is, at the bottom of your big toe. And then pick up and drink some water. And you should taste that essential oil in your mouth. So that's how you know how quickly it's going through your bloodstream. So at night, when I put the good night on my toes, I take a sip of water, just because I always do before I go to bed, and I taste the good night every night in my mouth. So you can test that out and see if you notice that. How about you, Patty? Do you notice that at night? You're gone in the night if you didn't. If you take your sip of water.
I haven't tried that yet. I forgot you did give me that tip, so I'm going to try that tonight.
Yeah, but my point is that it you don't have to put it on your eyes for it to go to where it's needed. Your body's innate, and it figures out where it needs it, and it just goes through your entire bloodstream in just a matter of seconds, as does anything else that you put on your body. Even the bad stuff you put on your body, it goes everywhere within 26 seconds in your body. And so you really need to be thinking about just using all natural things. There's so many things out there that we're using that are not good for us. They're not good for our skin. They're not good for our bodies. So many chemicals. If you look at the label and you can't pronounce anything on there and you don't know what it is, then you shouldn't be putting it on your skin, because it's going into every cell of your body within seconds. This is another one you could clean your countertops with. I think I have a picture of that. Yeah, that you can clean your countertops with it, and you can also make a bigger Mr. bottle, not one for your body, but one that's a cleaning size bottle, and use that. Now, Deb, I think you asked me about recipes and stuff. In the book, there is something called a dilution chart, and that is helpful for things like this, that you can look up the dilution chart, and it helps you know how to make something based on what the size is of your bottle. And again, I can share that in my Healthy Living page as well. Trying to find it. It's on page 281 in the book. There's one in the front of the book too. But you just look up the size of the bottle, and it tells you how many drops that you would use based on what the size of the bottle is.
Okay.
Very antifungal, very antibacterial, very antiviral. It's anti-inflammatory, so it's a good pain reliever, and it's very stimulating to the circulation system. And the reason that I sold it to Lois was because I had written down that everybody should have at least one of these in their medicine cabinet or in their safe if you have a lot of essential oils in case the plague ever comes around. Now, I wrote that down years ago. And at the time, we all giggled about that. And, you know, now we're dealing with that. So this is definitely one that everybody should have. One of the other things that I thought was very interesting about it is that it also can be considered an antidepressant, or can be helpful for some people as an antidepressant. It has lime essential oil in it. That is one of the unique properties of it. We don't have lime in all of our essential oils, but that is very good for fear and anxiety. And so I think there's a couple other essential oils that this blend is made up of that are also good for anxiety. And obviously that's another thing that we're all dealing with right now, right? Is I hear so often in the past 2 years that even people that didn't have anxiety before now are dealing with that. So it's another reason to just use it preventatively on a daily basis. And I would say that I kind of feel like I think it helps me that way. I'm not particularly anxious, but I do feel like it kind of has like a calming, leveling out, grounding. There's some other essential oils that I use for that. I mean, that I use to help give me that grounding feeling. And I'm not using them right now, but yet I still feel that. So I would say I think I'm getting that from that. But lime is great for this. The oils that are in this oil are lime, meadow foam, nutmeg, oregano, orange, peppermint, rosemary, Scotch pine, spearmint, tangerine, and pine needle.
Wow.
So it's a lot, right? It's a lot of a different essential oils. So you're going to get a lot of different benefits because each one of those has different benefit. And it's kind of amazing that they could put that all together. You know what? I got my pages out of order. I apologize. I knew that wasn't right.
Hey, Jill, I was going to mention, I bought that oil.
I got my pages out of order. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So forget what I said. We're going to come back to that about Y23. I had them reversed. Go ahead,
Okay.
Liz.
I was going to mention what I had just recently bought that Thymol. And remember I told you the bottle leaked in the box in my shipment?
Yes.
Well, I could not believe how strong that was. I mean, I could smell it the minute I got the box. I was like, what is that smell? Because I had, I think it's the most aromatic, potent oil I have ever smelled.
Yes.
Yeah. So it must be that combination of all those heavy scented oils that's in there that makes it so strong.
Well, I need to retract. When I told you all the oils that were in there, those are the oils that are in Y23.
Oh, Y23. Okay. What's in this one?
Yeah. This is thyme.
Okay. What's in thyme?
Thyme. It's a single oil.
Oh, it's just thyme. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so unbelievably strong. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to confuse you guys. I just was looking at the book and my pages were reversed.
Okay. So
I knew it
Y23.
wasn't right as I was engaging my
Okay.
brain that those were not in it.
So Y23.
But it's still good for all those issues. Yeah, that's
It is good for all
awesome.
the issues we were talking about. It was just when I started talking
Yes.
about what was in it.
Yes.
That is not correct. It is just
Right.
thyme. However,
Wow.
what Liz said about it being strong and powerful, it is. It is strong and powerful. And remember that I wrote down years ago when I was learning about it, everybody needs to have one of these in case the plague ever comes around because of how strong it is, how antiviral it is, how great it is. And over, as I was reading about it, it talks about it being a natural antibiotic. That
Right.
I think in time when they look back on it, that they're really going to recognize it as for its natural antibiotic properties, and that regular use of it will help to promote health and longevity of your individual cells, and therefore to help you overall. It is also a memory booster, so it's really good for your memory also in addition to supporting the immune system.
So Jill,
Yes,
how, so do you incorporate the thyme essential oil almost on a daily basis or a weekly basis?
I have been. I've been using it daily. I put it-
Okay, and how do you use it daily?
What I
Is
typically
that,
do is I usually put either it or Y23 on the bottom of my feet, morning or night. So I like to rotate and alternate my oils so that I'm not using the same thing all the time. So I always use good night at bedtime, and I'll either put Y23 or Thymol on the bottom of my toes before I go to bed every night this time of year.
so because you like rotate, so you might be using the thyme 3-4 times a week?
Correct. And then I might be
Okay.
Y23, or some other people have mentioned First Defense or
Right.
Thymol. There are other oils that we have.
Okay.
So, I'm going to rotate another immune oil.
Okay. Well, as soon as you said memory, like these bells, I mean, I'm 63, so I'm thinking, I just didn't know if that was something that you could use every day, because that's definitely something I could use a little support on.
I'd say you definitely can use it every day. I'm going to talk to you about
Okay.
Y23, which is also a great essential oil. And
Okay.
I wouldn't use them at the same time because they're both very strong essential oils. And so that's why for me, I'm not choosing one. I'm using them both, but I'm using like one in the morning and one at night, or one day and one the next day. The other thing to keep in remembering, and if I didn't say it, I'm going to make sure that you heard it now, is the Thymol is not a regular part of our line. And so that is the problem with using it every day, is if you're going to use it every day, then you're going to want to order 2 bottles because you don't want to run out of it when you really need it, because you were using it every day. Our company brought it back because they had many people asking for it for such a time as this. And I think that they're waiting to see how it sells to determine whether or not they're going to bring it back as part of our regular line. So right now it's available for a limited time till they run out, and they have not promised us that they're going to keep offering it. Now, I think they're crazy if they don't.
Right.
But if it doesn't, if enough people don't know about it and aren't talking about it like I am, then it is possible that they won't continue, with it as available. So if you're going to use it every day, you might want to consider getting a second one. And so that is what I do, is I have another one, or if we get sick and we need it, and that's what allows me to be able to use it regularly. And I find I do feel benefits from it. I do feel like it is emotionally grounding, and I do feel like it helps with memory and things like that. I feel that. I feel like it has calming benefits and memory benefits as well. I don't know about eye benefits, but that's what I'm reading about, that, that it also has eye benefits too.
Okay.
Answer your question? Yeah, so we do one morning, one night. And you don't have to just do it morning and night. You can put it on whenever you want to. Like if you take a shower, go to the workout, and you take a shower in the middle of the day, then do it after your shower. It doesn't have to be first thing. But I typically put it on a couple times a day. Something. And you can use it to help with insects, like in the backyard. If you had a candle, you could add a drop of it to it to help repel it, insects. Or you could put it in a mister bottle or even a big spray bottle out in the garden and use it to help repel insects. And they do say that you can, outside, you could diffuse it. Now, I think you'd really have to have a pretty hefty diffuser to actually have it impact outside, but maybe you can make a mister and spray around your picnic table before you ate, before people came out, and see if that would have some kind of beneficial benefit. I think it might. It also helps to energize and promote feelings of calm and peace. Now, I have not found that it perks me up in that kind of energy, I don't feel like it wakes me up. Because I use it at bedtime and it's not keeping me awake. But it does say that it helps to energize and helps to promote feelings of calm and of peace. And that it also can be helpful for clearing skin problems resulting from a hospital stay. I guess I would use that in a sparing way, like in the mister and spraying it if you had that kind of situation to try to, but it would always have to be diluted if it was not going on the bottom of your toes. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Let me see if I got everything. Yeah, I think I did. Alrighty. So now we're going to talk about Y23. Now I'm going to tell you about all those. That's a blend. Sorry. And Y23 is blended specifically for our company. It is not a blend that you're going to find anywhere else. And it has a lot of oils in it. Actually, has more than they have up there. I'm going to go through and tell you all the different essential oils, but it was blended specifically. There was a company in Russia that had an essential oil blend that they wanted us to match. And so Kent King, who blended the essential oil, he blended 23 different actually, I think he blended 26 different recipes trying to match it because he didn't know what was in theirs. And he was trying to figure it out and match it. And they chose from these 26 different blends which one was the one. And that's why it's called Y23, because it was sample number 23 that they picked.
Okay.
But it was formulated to build your immune system and for your overall health. And it is supportive to our skin, which protects us from outside invaders. It's supportive for our respiratory system that filters out the air and our lymphatic system. And it also kills unwanted intruders. And it is known to help relax and soothe sore and tired muscles. It's particularly good for cough and cold symptoms and the flu. And it is also great for a nagging cough. Now, it's what I would have used for a cough, that or tea tree, previous to us having the Thymol on. So it is also great for a cough. I would also say it is definitely safe to diffuse. Like I diffuse Y23 a lot. And so it's definitely one you could choose for the diffuser if you're trying to help with respiratory issues or trying to sanitize the room. Or I like to diffuse if somebody's sick in our house. I like to diffuse to both help the person who's sick with the respiratory system, but also to prevent and disinfect the room for others. And I think it smells great. I sometimes will add 1 drop of cinnamon to it when I'm diffusing it because I like it even better that way. And so you can certainly try that by doing that, just add 1 drop of cinnamon. But this is all the different essential oils that are in it. It has birch, cajeput, cedar leaf, copaiba, corn mint, eucalyptus globus, ginger, white grapefruit, French lavender, lime, meadowfoam, nutmeg, oregano, orange sweet, peppermint, rosemary, scotch pine, spearmint, tangerine, and pine needle. So it'd be impossible to make a blend like that on your own, right?
Wow.
So I don't want you to get lost in what it does, but I'm gonna try to tell you some of what the individual properties are, like the individual oils that are in it. I'm not gonna tell you everything about every oil because we'd be here all day, but the birch that is in it is famous for inflammation. And it's great to use anytime you're sick. The birch goes in there and helps with anything anti-inflammatory. And for anybody who I think Liz mentioned that she likes birch. Birch is really good for bone pain. And it is also considered to be an anti-inflammatory. So kind of like aspirin, birch. So you're getting that benefit when you're using Y23. Cajeput is very antifungal and it's great for the lungs. It's good for asthma, for bronchitis, for coughs, for muscle aches, for rheumatism, for sore throats. And it also is stimulating to the mind and to help with clarity and actually organizing your thoughts. And it's a mood elevator. So you get all those benefits in the Y23 for Cajeput, from Cajeput. Cedar leaf is good for parasites, for dandruff, for respiratory issues, for skin issues, for headache, and for helping you to balance emotions. That was one of my favorite single essential oils before I came to Youngevity and fell in love with all these other oils. Is cedar wood has like a really grounding, it helps you to feel grounded and calm and pulls your brain together. Copaiba is great for inflammation and pain. It's also helpful for the bronchitis and any kind of congestion. Corn mint is good for itching and spasms. So that helps you with the coughing because it's great for spasms. It's also good for IBS, the corn mint. So you're going to get those benefits as well. And it's great for a cold and flu season. Again, these are all things that are in the Y26. Eucalyptus globus.
Y23.
Sorry, Y23. Thank you for correcting me. Eucalyptus globus is known for its antibacterial properties and for how good it is for the respiratory system. It helps to open things up. Oh, by the way, when I mentioned corn mint, I missed this note. It said corn mint is a little like peppermint on steroids. And that, so when you smell peppermint, it's like really kind of opens you up, and corn mint really does that too. And that's why they put that in here, is for that purpose. Ginger is in here for helping with the digestive issues, any kind of upset stomach. It's also stimulating for the cardiovascular system. White grapefruit is in here because it's good for helping with the pains, like you always feel those overall body aches and things when you're sick, and the grapefruit is really good for that, as well as detoxifying the kidneys and helping to remove blockages and helping to stimulate the liver. French lavender is great for the respiratory system. It's also great at helping to break fevers, helping with muscle aches and digestive issues. So you can see these all kind of are hitting the same issues, right? And they have it in the perfect combination to help it all just work together synergistically. It also has lime oil in, which is why I knew I was reading the wrong page, because that is not in a lot of our oils. And lime is great for opening everything up. It's very antifungal, and it is very much an antidepressant. That's why they put that in there. Meadow foam, I think is kind of just used to help make it all work together, help it blend all together and bring it all together. Nutmeg kills everything in sight. You know, nutmeg is what we use in cooking, but when they started using it in cooking, it was to help with the digestive system and to fight infections and keep you from getting parasites and things like that. It is also, nutmeg's helpful for diarrhea and vomiting. So right now, that is something that people report, right, with flu symptoms, that they may have diarrhea and vomiting. And if I had diarrhea and vomiting, I would probably use this a couple different ways. I would smell it. That would be one of the things, is just to open the cap and smell it. That can be a hugely beneficial way. You could put it on a cotton ball, so you could do that whenever you needed to. But you could also put it on the bottom of your feet, or you can actually rub it on your stomach or on your chest. And if I'm rubbing Y23 on my stomach, I might put it on neat meaning without a carrier. I might do that. You may want to put it in a carrier and rub it on your stomach, like your own body lotion, or buy a carrier oil from us and put it in a little bit of carrier oil. I know that I can do that, but you may have sensitive skin and it may be better for you to dilute it. But if you just put it right on your stomach when you're already having stomach issues, a lot of times it really just, it very quickly goes in and helps you with that. Putting it on the bottom of your feet can help you as well, that you don't actually have to put it on your stomach. It's kind of just a personal preference for what you want to do. I'm trying to remember who somebody mentioned at the beginning, they like to use peppermint on their stomach when they were having
Right.
stomach issues. So, that was a good testimony. And that is how I would use that if I was having vomiting or diarrhea. And I would put it on my stomach for diarrhea. That's where I would put it if it were me, or on the bottom of my feet. And something like diarrhea, you want to repeat. Like you're going to want to do it and then maybe do it a half an hour later. And maybe do it a half an hour later. Because you want to do it enough that you're impacting it so it goes away.
And when you do it on your stomach, it's clockwise, correct?
Yes, clockwise. Yeah. So oregano is really, really antiviral. It is also considered to be, a natural antibiotic and very powerful essential oil on its own. And it is also very spicy. And but in comparison to all the other essential oils in here, it is a small amount. So it's not as spicy in this blend as it would be if you were just using oregano by itself. But it is a very natural antibiotic and antiseptic oil as well. But it's probably the reason why I would say for you to see how it interacts with your skin, it would be better if you used it in a carrier. Orange helps to balance the thyroid and the lymphatic system. It also helps you, like a lot of times people get dehydrated when they're have cold and flu symptoms or when they're sick. And using orange essential oil can help you get the water into your cells and hydrate you. So using Y23, you get the benefit of the orange essential oil. This has peppermint in it, and the peppermint is in it for digestive issues, but it is also in for fever and for sinus. So peppermint's one I would use to try to break a fever. And it is in this essential oil. For some people, if you have a low-grade fever, Y23, may help you to break a fever, or repetitive doses of it every half an hour apart while you're trying to break a fever may help you break a fever. There is a caution on this essential oil that if you happen to have AFib, or high blood pressure, that you just need to be cognizant of the fact that it has peppermint in it. It's not like you're using peppermint straight, you're using a blend with many different essential oils. But if you notice any kind of result from that, then do not continue to use it. But I have many people that use peppermint even with high blood pressure. So and this again is not just peppermint, it is a blend, and that's a very small part of it. But I'm just telling you the caution that's in there because of the peppermint. Rosemary is in it, and rosemary is known as the oil of remembrance. That it is helpful for the brain and helpful for clarity, mental clarity, and remembering. It's also very good for the respiratory system, and rosemary is very good for the muscular system as well, and for asthma, coughs, and bronchitis. So you can see there's so many in here that are good for coughs, right? It is also, what did I just say? Rosemary is also good for your bladder. Scotch pine is good for muscle pain, bone pain, and respiratory issues, and it is in here. Spearmint opens up what does it open up? Oh, it opens up your respiratory system. It's helpful for any kind of stomach upset, for diarrhea, nausea, headaches. Spearmint is like a baby peppermint, and it is in here. Tangerine, and by the way, when I mentioned before about high blood pressure and AFib, spearmint does not have that same caution on it. It's like a baby peppermint, but it doesn't have the caution on it about those two things. Tangerine is in here because it is helpful for easing tension, fear, sadness, irritability, and even insomnia. So who was it? Nancy, did you tell me that you feel like Y23 helps you sleep? I think Nancy told me that.
Sorry, I had to take it off there. Yes, I just love the smell of it and it's calming to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And so in here, it's actually twice now I've mentioned that it was helpful for insomnia, for sleeping. And tangerine is one of the ones that it is saying that it is in there to help you do that, to help you calm down and sleep while you're sick. So yeah. And then pine needle is in here, and it is good for bone pain and also for the muscular and respiratory system. And it is also very anti-inflammatory. So wow, right? Wow, wow, wow. It's everything rolled into one, but in the exact proportions that they need, just so they don't like counteract each other. Now, the thing to know is that when you're using an essential oil like this one, that's so powerful, it kind of stands alone. I told you I use it with Good Night, and I do. But I wouldn't, also use First Defense at the same time that I'm using Y23. I would not also use the Thyme Thymol as the same time I'm using the Y23, because they're both really powerful essential oils and they stand alone by themselves. So I know that was a lot of information to take in. Does anybody have any questions about Y23? Nope. Okay. So, you can see why I wanted to talk about those 3 oils, because we're in the middle of cold and flu season and whatever else is going on in the world out there. And I think that these are the 3 that you want to have at home for that reason. They all serve slightly different purposes. And I think that they're all 3 really good ones to have in your arsenal. Youngevity packaged together, essential oils every month, as I mentioned before, and this month they packaged Y23 first. Oh, I thought that was on the screen. It's not. Where to go? This month they packaged together Y23, which we just talked about, First Defense, and To Be Well. And the difference in these oils is they're all immune oils, but they just have different oils in them. They're just a different blend of essential oils, and they all support your immune system. To Be Well is the one that is safe for all ages. So if you have children or grandchildren, To Be Well is the essential oil that you want to use for them. Now, that's not to say that it's not good for adults. It is. It's great for adults as well. But it's a bit gentler than this Y23. The Y23 is kind of the Mac Daddy because it has so many different essential oils in it. And
Jill.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you add the thyme to any one of those?
Yes. So you can buy any of these essential oils separately. Okay. So if you want Y23 and you want thyme, you can just buy those. If you want to buy this here that has all 3 of these here together because they're a good deal and they're all good for your immune system and you want to rotate them all out, you can get this for $54.95 and you can buy thyme.
Well, that's not what I meant. I meant you said you wouldn't use thyme and Y23 together.
Right.
Right. So would you use thyme and First Defense together or thyme and To Be Well together?
I would say yes. Yes.
Okay. And do you use the 3 of those together?
No.
Or separately?
I use them separately.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
What I like to do with To Be Well, let me see if I thought I had screens. I'll tell you a little bit about them. I don't want to confuse anybody and go into too great a detail. But what First Defense is it has a powerful amount of essential oils in it also, but less, and they're different essential oils. So it has cinnamon, it has clove, it has eucalyptus radiata, nioli, and nioli is a little bit like tea tree, oregano, palmarosa, peppermint, ravensara, tea tree, and then it has the thyme CT linalool in it. I know that Brenda, what, right? She talks about using the Thymol on your feet, and then also adding a drop of cinnamon and a drop of clove. And she thinks the three of those together work really well synergistically to help kick out whatever is going on. So you can see that the clove and the cinnamon are right there in the first defense. So I think that that would be fun to use that together if you needed to, if you wanted to. So
Jill,
yeah,
can you use the thyme on like a carrier oil for your chest? Because you said it was good for the respiratory.
I would say yes. I would try it if it was diluted in a carrier oil. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
And is that how I forgot the name of the person that used it for their cough. Is that how they used it? Or did
No,
they use it on their feet?
Lois and her husband put it on the bottom of their big
The
toe.
feet. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and they had phenomenal results. But I know you can also put it on your chest. You just have to kind of dilute it.
Okay. All right. And you wouldn't recommend putting cinnamon with that too, would you? Because
okay, so Brenda just said that she would recommend that you put,
okay.
but only on the bottom of your feet, because cinnamon and clove are both very spicy oils.
Okay.
And some people already have the clove and cinnamon. They were just ones that we sold for Christmas and Thanksgiving because they're they smell nice with orange and with for balsam for the holidays. So some people already have those. And you probably already do, Nance.
I have cinnamon.
Yeah. And so you can just put the three of them on the bottom of your feet. However,
Okay.
you're going to want to wash your hands because you don't want to put it on and go to bed and leave it on your fingers because you may rub your eyes, and they're all three spicy essential oils. But now if you're going to use all three of them, then I don't know if you'd want to use the Good Night, because Good Night's a blend too, and that's three very powerful essential oils. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Jill, I have another question. So if you would order the three together, when you get the oils, does it come with all these instructions of how to use them and so forth?
It comes with a couple things. First of all, it comes with a little card that tells you what's in the blend. I'm looking on my little cards. It comes with a card it comes with the card that looks like what's on the screen here. And it's two-sided and it tells you what's in the blend and it gives you a couple suggested uses. And if there's a safety note on it, the safety note should be on the card. And a lot of people will save them and put them on a key ring or something so they can look through chain, like a little, what's it called? What am I talking about, guys? It's like a little chain.
A key ring, yeah, like a.
Or you can do what Liz did and count them. That's how this is how many she had, but she counted them. But also, I can send you the free copy of the book, and in there, each one of them they tell you somewhat how to use them. Okay, so I can send you the free copy if you don't have it. That a lot of what I went over is in there, and there are a few recipes in there, or like there's testimonies of how people used it. So that's in the book too. Then with the aroma share oils of the month, which is these three, you'll get some recipes of how to use it. I have some on here, I think. Thought I did. Where are they? I swear I put them in here. PowerPoint's open. I must have put them in the other one. Well, there are some recipes in there, like it'll tell you how to make a few Mr. bottles, or it'll tell you usually 3 or 4 different recipes that you can make with the oils that are in this group. So that's another
Yeah,
one.
and that's what's nice, because if you order this way and you have questions, we're here to help them. We can find out answers, or you can go on your healthy living page, and so that's really helpful.
Yeah. So if I stop my share, I can show you. I think I have it up. What comes with it? Thought I did. I'll get here. See before I stop my share if I do. I don't know where it is. But on my healthy living page, I will put up the recipes that come with this month's aroma share. But you'll get it. It'll come in the mail with those 3 oils, and those 3 oils are great to own for sure. I mean, they're a great choice. What I like to do with the To Be Well is I like to make a Mr. bottle with the To Be Well and the plant-derived minerals, or just distilled water. And I like to just spray my body, right? So you're spraying like a force field on you. So I like to just spray my body before I go somewhere that I'm concerned. Or you have young children, it's safe that you can spray that way. And it's good to spray on your skin, on your body. And it's just, all a gentle, safe essential oil for all ages.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Oh, here I did have. Okay, sorry, I do have. Here's an example of some of the things. Now these aren't complicated. Some months they're more complicated than others, but this one here, it's telling you to take 8 to 10 drops of First Defense essential oil and to add it to your diffuser and diffuse every 15 minutes for 15 minutes every 2 hours. I sometimes diffuse longer than that. Leanne, who wrote a lot of these recipes, she's very conservative as to how long she diffuses oils. So a lot of times they'll tell you to diffuse every 15 minutes for 2 hours. I frequently will diffuse them that. And then here it's telling you can add a drop to Be Well to a candle. That's just a good way to get the aroma into the room. So a lot of times they're more complicated recipes than that, but these are the ones that happen to come in this month's aroma share. And then there's another one too. And then, camera looks like it's gonna freeze again. We also have a version for pets. So we have a wellness mist for your pet, and it has the Y23 in it, but it has the plant-derived minerals that I mentioned. It has Dead Sea salt, sandalwood distillate water, Roman chamomile distillate water. And I think what that is when they make the Roman chamomile, that's like what they don't use. That's like the leftover part, I guess. And then it has some witch hazel in it. And then the Y23, and you get 2 for the price of 1. And how you use one of these for your animal, your pet, for your dog, is you don't spray them. You spray your hands, and then you rub your hands together and you rub it into their fur. You can rub it alongside behind their ears, down their neck, or on their belly. Wellness one, you wouldn't necessarily want to spray their bed, but some of the other ones we have a calming mist, you could spray their bedding or that area, but you don't spray them. You spray your hand, and then you rub it through their fur. And a lot of times if you spray your hand and you put your hand up and let them smell it, you'll see if they like it or they don't. If you don't like it, then you don't want to use it on them. But these are all safe to use on people too. This is designed specifically to help keep your animal well. And I wouldn't use it on a cat. It's for a dog. And then just a couple other quick things. We do have something called a Valentine's Day gift guide that has some things on special. We have a lot of makeup and nail wraps and spices and some coffee. But this is the one that we have in there for essential oils that's a special. And it is 3 essential oils and a locket for $49, which is a good deal. And the essential oils are To Be Loved, pink grapefruit, sweet orange, and my favorite essential oil locket, which I have on. I wear it every day. So that's my favorite essential oil locket. So that's a great deal to get all of those together. So you can gift that to somebody, your Valentine, or you can break it up. I know I don't have people on here, but you just bought To Be Loved, right, Patty? She's muted. But
I'm sorry, my daughter bought it and she loves it.
Yeah.
Just smelling it is like a hug.
Yeah, and that's what it's designed for, is it's designed to make you feel like you're getting a hug and that you're loved. And so it's a good one to give someone, but it's this one special for $49 that you get all of those different essential oils and the locket. And I love the locket. It's my favorite. And then I just want to remind everybody that I talked about our CM cream. It is one of my top 6 products that I have from Youngevity. I use this every single day as well. It just, and my son asks for it whenever he has any kind of sports pain, any kind of pain. He asked me to put it on one of his friends yesterday because it's very helpful for pain. But I like to add my essential oils to it. That's what I use as my carrier. And before I go to bed at night, a lot of times I'll put it on my shoulders and I'll add an essential oil to it. I'm sure I told you last time that To Be at Peace is the one I usually use on my shoulders. And I put it in that at bedtime. We have this one that's a body lotion. It's just a 4 ounce, but doesn't have a scent in it. But it's filled with all kinds of healthy antioxidant rich things. And so it's a good one that you can use and add essential oils to it. You could add something to the whole thing, or you could just add it a little bit at a time, put it in the palm of your hand and add the essential oil to it. We also sell diffusers. We only sell these. I have this one here just because of the color. The white one changes colors. And it does turn off when it's empty. It has a timer on it. You can set it for, I think it's 60, 90, and 120 minutes. We have a bunch of different essential oil lockets, including a bracelet. And then I just have this on here because it's, well, I should say Valentine's Day, but Valentine's Day is coming up and chocolate's a great gift to give someone over that Valentine's Day. And we have great chocolates. And you can get one of them half price depending on how much you're spending. We do have a special that for if you found a number of different essential oils that you want and you spend $75, you can get an item at half price. And many of the things are available at half price. The chocolates is something you can get half price. Any single essential oil you can get half price if you buy $75 worth of anything. You can't get a kit like the Aroma Share half price, but if you buy the Aroma Share, it can count for getting something half price once you hit $75. Again, I just want to remind you, these are the Aroma Share oils. And then this is next month, Aroma Share oils. It's all heart, which is one that's great for your heart and the cardiovascular system. Ylang Ylang, which is great for nervous and circulatory and reproductive systems. Clove bud, which I just mentioned, is one that can be also beneficial in combination with any of those other oils for boosting your immune system. And then we'll probably also talk about To Be Loved a little bit because it's still going to be part of that special. And it's Valentine's month. So we'll probably talk about that next month too. That's really all I have. I'm going to take it off the screen share and see if anybody still has questions. I'm happy to answer them. I still awake?
Excellent. Excellent.
I know it's a lot. It was a lot to take in because there's a lot in those oils, right? But they're, perfect for what we have going on right now. Perfect for cold, flu, and just anytime, that you need to give a boost to your immune system.
Well, you covered a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, you also.
And so a lot of information. You did very well. So thank you.
Thank you for all the time and the hard work you put in.
I know.
Thank you.
We learned a lot.
So
I've got to skip out. I got to get some lunches packed here for my husband and whatnot, but I just wanted to thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Good seeing you, Nancy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And for anybody that, wants to place an order, or has any questions, get back to the person that invited you to this Zoom. And, they'll be able to, help you figure out, what oils are best for you and what the different prices are, and, be able to take your order for you. And again, if you, depending on what you heard that you wanted, if you do find yourself spending $35 or more, they'll be able to help you figure out what you can get half price. So appreciate all of you. So grateful that you could come. And I don't have the date for next month. I told you what we're going to talk about, but hopefully you'll come back and learn more next month, and you'll be able to give me a testimony on these 3 oils, right? Or these 5 oils.
Yeah.
These 5 oils. So yeah. And it sounds
Okay, thank you.
like Deb for sure wants to get a copy of the free essential oil book.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
That'll be
right.
helpful.
Thank you all.
Okay. All right,
Thanks so
thank you.
much. Good
night.
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 Good night.
Can that essential